Hey YouTube, it's Patrick, and today I'll be doing a video on the price difference in the different Bitcoin exchanges and why those may occur. Now, when looking at price variances, there's a few things you want to look at. One of them is market size, and even though Bitcoin has grown immensely over the last year, it's still really small. For example, it's grown from in April of 2013, has grown from 1.2 billion to $10 billion. That's a pretty big market size. However, it's still only, 0.01% of the world GDP. Another thing you want to look at is the exchange's individual volume. And what I mean by the exchange's individual volume, meaning MtGox, CampBX, Bitstamp, Coinbase, they're different. How much they actually transfer in a day, because if you're selling less, the price is more likely to be less. Now let's look at CampBX here, where they have about 4 Bitcoin for sale for $119. By far, out of all these examples I'm going to show you, this is the cheapest, and I believe that's one because they're one of the slower exchanges out there. Now BTCE is 833, which is lower than MtGox, and I have a theory about that. Here's Coinbase. Now they're also at 833, and lo and behold, Bitstamp is also at 833. So if you're going to look here, they got like 11 offered at that price. And then if we go over to MtGox, of course, they are at 969 and growing, as you see here. So they are clearly the highest. And one of the problems with this is it creates this arbitrage. And that's when there's a profit to be made. The only problem with this is it's hard to capitalize. Now, I guess it's hard to get your money out of MtGox, and that's why everybody's not buying at CampBX and selling at MtGox and trading out their money. And like I stated in another video, even if they did do this, this would just regulate out the price of Bitcoin to be more even between these two exchanges, with those people making profit in between. I've heard, reading some stories online, I've heard it could take, up to months getting your money out of MtGox, but those are old stories. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a video and see how fast it actually takes to get cash out of MtGox, because I did buy some Bitcoin at CampBX to shoot a video, and I sold it, and I made myself a nice $20 profit. I want to see if I can, how fast I can realize that profit, how fast I can actually have cash in hand. And I was actually quite impressed today, the price similarities over all these different exchanges. Now, and the price of Bitcoin has been stabilizing. If you look at the last month here, it's going up and down, but still you can get in and out for about the same price. If you look at that line that I'm drawing there at about 960, it's very stable to that line, even though it has these dips that go down. With all that being said, I think these prices will regulate as these websites become more efficient in getting cash in and out. I think a lot of this price variance has to do with the flow of cash. For example, MtGox is harder to get your cash out of. BTCE is impossible to get your cash into. I remember when I was first looking at Bitcoin, the price was about $100, lower on BTCE. So I thought it'd be easy to deposit money in there, and it's not. And I watched, instructional videos, and what a lot of people say they use this site for is to trade the alternative currencies. So they basically come in, bring their Bitcoin on the exchange, because of course Bitcoin is really easy to deposit, and then they sell that Bitcoin for US dollars, and then they buy up Litecoin or Namecoin or Peercoin or Feathercoin and so on. So as BTCE makes it more easier to deposit uh, money into their accounts, I think you'll see that price variance, closing rather quickly. I'm sorry to bring up. Here's another one, another trading. This is CoinEX, where you can trade the really the alt currencies, such as Doggy Coin and Butterfly Coin and whatnot. So for the people who are wondering why these may occur, I hope this offers somewhat of an explanation on why these price variances may occur. I'm not even 100% positive on these things myself. But that's all I have for you for right now, and I'll see you on YouTube.